just go, are you guys trolling everyone? Is this satire? You'll see what I'm talking about. Wait, can I pause? Yes. Virtua Fighter back again to conquer the world of the FGC. It's gonna take over, guys. Look out. Look out, Riot Games. Project L is gonna get fucking smoked when the new Virtua Fighter patch is released. If they get another patch. Xamaka. Okay, so far looking fucking good, right? Xamaka. Jinnu. Looking good. That looks great. To be honest, that looks sick. But when that happens and it's like, oh, okay, it's still looking all right, although that mouth. I hear this is Heihachi after he became a meth addict. So this is Breaking Bad Heihachi, okay?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. Oh yeah, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. I am Gray Matter. Kind of just been busy lately. Birthday was, on the 29th of September. Is now October the 1st. I am now 27. Yay. But anyway, I've been in like a serious drought when it comes to Virtua Fighter. Serious drought. And then, I find out that they re-released 5 Final Showdown, which is a good sign in some cases, because that means that they're working on a sequel to Virtua Fighter. But people are hating on Virtua Fighter for the same dumbass reasons that they've been hating on it. It needs a story. The gameplay needs more flash. The characters need to be redesigned. And it's always coming from some Tekken player. Always. And I could sit here for hours about how much I really don't like the Tekken designs. Okay, they seem too over the top. Like it wants to be an anime so damn bad, but that's beside the point. Okay? People like the game, they're going to play the fucking game. I really don't like Tekken as much. It's not as fluid as Virtua Fighter in my opinion. But hey, I'm biased. I've been playing Virtua Fighter for 22 years. My first game was Virtua Fighter 3. You know what I mean? Well, close to 22 years, 21 years, whatever. My math is off because it came out in 1996. But whatever. The point I'm getting at is that I've been playing Virtua Fighter for a long ass fucking time. Tekken used to copy Virtua Fighter. Tekken 4 with the uneven stages. Virtua Fighter 3 did that years before Tekken 4 was even a fucking thing. Okay, when in Tekken 3 where they were showcasing their martial arts in the opening before you press start or insert the coin, Virtua Fighter did that first. Virtua Fighter was the first 3D fighter, and then everybody else copied from Virtua Fighter. And then tried to add flash and flare and shit to it. And all it did was unbalance and, water down the gameplay of the OG. But whatever. Now Virtua Fighter is, being laughed at and having Tekken skins. As a Virtua Fighter fan, and this guy's laughing, but as a Virtua Fighter fan, this shit is just... It fucking annoys me. I'm not gonna lie. It really annoys me. Like it gives me it makes my chest hurt. Like we say what the fuck you want, all right? You're fanboy, you're overreacting, you're taking it too serious. I don't want a Virtua Fighter Tekken crossover. That shit's not going to work. It's like mixing oil and water. Okay. It is not. You can't. How the fuck would that work? Both games play completely differently from each other. Like, fuck the skins. Just a crossover in general wouldn't fucking work. I would never want to play as Kazuya in fucking VF. Like, what the fuck? And of course they pick Akira to have the skin. Two different fighting styles. Like,
this is Kazuya trying to solve a Rubik's Cube. We all make that face. It's not easy, okay? I'm so sorry. I don't want to laugh.
look at this chat. They're laughing. Virtua Fighter borrowing credibility. Like Tekken wasn't trying to steal shit from Virtua Fighter back in the day. Like, this is
the only one who sees this as just unintentional comedy.
Like, this shit is... This is mad disrespectful.
So right, Virtua Fighter esports. Have a trailers prior to Virtua Fighter 5 dropping again, you know, just a few months ago.
Oh yeah, and when I was looking this up, I actually wanted to see like if anybody ever did a comparison on the YouTube between VF3 and Tekken 4. Just to see if somebody bothered to like talk about like everything that Tekken 4 has taken from Virtua Fighter 3 and incorporated into his own game. But no one talks about it.
Oh, the phenomenon is back. The original fighting game, the behemoth of the FGC, Virtua Fighter esports. And then it drops, and it's like, I think 2 days later, what, 7 people are on PlayStation Network playing it?
I can sit here and talk about how big the tourney scene is in Japan, because that's all Sega seems to concern themselves with. When they dropped this whole esports thing, they were mainly focusing on their Japanese players. Okay, because Western audiences don't understand Virtua Fighter. They really don't. And they have shown that. They've shown they will rather play a dumbed down, watered down version of Virtua Fighter instead of playing the real thing. And me, because of my finances currently, and I know I've been focusing more on Smash Brothers. That's just because I can't get any Virtua Fighter tourneys out here. Because nobody fucking does it in the West. I will have to move to Japan to get all the Virtua Fighter I want to get. The last time I played Virtua Fighter online, it took forever to even get an opponent who was in Europe and another in Japan. Took forever to match, and then it was laggy. So if there was one thing that Virtua Fighter does need to do, okay, fuck all the bullshit everyone else is talking about. Bring in rollback netcode. That's what I want. Virtua Fighter 6 with rollback netcode, and I can connect to the Japanese audience and play against the, you know, the OG legends. Hell yeah, I love that shit. It won't be the same as the real thing, but once again, I would have to go out to Club Sega itself and fucking play in those arcades if I want to really, you know, compete in Virtua Fighter. Smash Brothers Melee is everywhere. Like, every state I've been in had a community because they actually support their game on, you know, a grander scale. Like Virtua Fighter, I can pull up a tourney online and everything, but if I want to go to those tourneys, I'm gonna have to drop like some dough just to even go out there for a couple days and compete. And I don't have hundreds of dollars to pay for plane tickets and shit. That's the struggle of a Virtua Fighter veteran in the West. This guy, of course, is making fun of it. Now, look, I love his content. I'm subscribed to him. His Tekken content is great. But whenever he's talking about Virtua Fighter, it sounds like it's coming from through the eyes of a Tekken player, not a Virtua Fighter main. That's just what it is. Okay, you complain about not having a story. Every veteran here has just been reading the manual. That's where you get the story from. You buy the game, you read the fucking manual. When I play Virtua Fighter, I'm not playing for story. I don't care about CG cutscenes. Okay? And, you know, they talk about the design of the characters. The design of the characters are completely fine. They don't need redesigns. In fact, they've been getting redesigns as the games progressed. Compare how they look in the clothes they wore in Virtua Fighter 2 and compare it to Virtua Fighter 4 and then compare it to Virtua Fighter 5. You talk about the sound effects. I heard these in the 90s. No, you didn't. Okay. I have Virtua Fighter 2 and 3 on my Dreamcast and 4 on my PlayStation and 5 on the 360. They don't sound the same. Similar, but not the exact same. Okay. Like 3 has different punch sound effects, and I could go on and on about this shit. You know, people saying that Akira looks like Ryu and shit just because he wears a gi, even though the white gi isn't even his original, you know, clothes that he wore when he was first introduced. I could go deep into this, but whatever, you know.
Yes, so much for the huge comeback.
The comeback was big in Japan.
I'm so sorry, but
whatever.
we have to watch this again. That win pose is the best thing I've ever seen.
And of course, because he said this is Meth Head Heihachi, it's a skin for Lao Chan, and Lao Chan is sick in the 5th version. Like, he's an old man who's sick, so he's not going to look healthy. That's part of his story. So giving him Heihachi's look is just weird.
Take this in. We're going to have to play it. Oh, can I? Oh, playback speed. Oh, we can't slow it down. Oh, was that even the Tekken 7 graphic for Ready?
Oh yeah, and whoever's demonstrating this, they're okay, but the biggest combos you get, if he's laughing at the combos, which maybe or maybe not, but in Virtua Fighter, you can only really juggle off of counter attacks. You can't just hit somebody and juggle. You have to bait them, force them to attack you, and then counter attack, and that's where the juggles come in. Everything is off counter.
Yeah, that's the Tekken KO. Hey.
Just give us Virtua Fighter 6 already. Like, and really hype the game up and really put a lot of time into it. There's still some of us in the West that actually want to get back into Virtua Fighter. not ironically either. All right, we treat the game very serious. A lot of these other players that I see who play, they treat Virtua Fighter like a meme, even though the game that they take serious wouldn't even exist if Virtua Fighter didn't exist. That's what's fucked up about this shit.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm roasting the game a lot, but I just it's like when I started playing it a few months ago and it was released. It's like everything is so dated, like the animations, the lip sync, the voice acting, the sound effects.
What? Tekken had the same animations. They didn't start changing animations for Tekken until Tekken 8. They still break their backs when doing the hell sweep. What the fuck?
I just started laughing. And I had some Virtua Fighter.
Like, Virtua Fighter updates their animations every game. And they mocap from real martial artists. And then you're talking about a re-release of a game that came out in 2012, which was a, updated version of a game that came out in 2006. So please.
Players in my chat, and they got really upset at me laughing. But I'm like, that's kind of a that's kind of a nice thing that the game has that. I mean, it certainly has its own identity. I mean, it's like the animations, when Jeffrey did his jumping elbow drop, and the animation is so goofy, I just burst out laughing watching it.
Even though the animations are more realistic than Tekken's. But you know what? People are still talking about a collaboration. How would a 3-button fighter with a rock, paper, scissors, how would that work? Yeah. A moth just flew in here through my window. And it was resting on my neck. Sorry about that. Gotta close this fucking window. But, yeah. A 3-button fighter with rock, paper, scissors, mechanics. Guard beats punch, grab beats guard, punch beats grab. Tekken doesn't have that. It's not as concrete in Tekken. That's why random jank happens in Tekken. Like, I really feel like putting Virtua Fighter characters in Tekken would be just disrespectful to Virtua Fighter. And it wouldn't work out. Hell, it felt weird. Like, even DOA, which is a 3-button fighter, it still felt weird. Because the whole system, like, it just feels weird.
I mean,
and if anything, DOA made more sense
to
have a collaboration with Virtua Fighter.
Tommy Wiseau, or I don't know how to pronounce that. It's like the worst movie ever, but at the same time, the best movie ever. It's an unintentional comedy that really makes you laugh. So to me, it's a plus that Virtua Fighter is so fucking goofy. It just always makes me laugh. It like never fails. There's always some detail where some super clunky animation that just makes me lose it.
He's the only guy I've ever heard say that Virtua Fighter's animation was clunky.
But I think it's also it should be noted that underneath all of this rubbish, there's an amazing fighting game that is on par with Tekken.
On par? On par? You fucking on par? That's the most disrespectful shit I've seen all day. Just today, not even in the video, today. That's the most disrespectful shit ever. Like saying that Virtua Fighter is on par with Tekken is shitting on Virtua Fighter. Yeah, it's underwhelming because y'all all suck at the fucking game. Learn to play this shit. I've done high level Virtua Fighter. It's way more fun than fucking Tekken. It's just more rewarding. There's just more to do, more to learn. It's just deeper on all levels. You know? Alright, so according to this guy, the Virtua Fighter community holds the game back. You know, they're overly defensive about it and they don't want none to change from, you know, how Virtua Fighter was, because anything else different would likely rage. Well, yeah, because all that people suggest for Virtua Fighter is for it to be Tekken. That's it. Okay, or DOA. That's what y'all want Virtua Fighter to be. Y'all want it to be Tekken. That's why we will rage. Because at that point, Virtua Fighter is not Virtua Fighter anymore. I don't need the over-the-top effects and the crazy long-ass combos. Virtua Fighter, a good 3 hits and half your life bar is gone. Why the fuck would I want, you know, Tekken-style combos in a game like that? When you already get knocked out so quickly. Okay? Why would I want, you know, over-the-top finishers and fucking, you know, back to the character redesigns? I don't want anime bullshit in, you know, fucking Virtua Fighter. I don't want that. Virtua Fighter was supposed to be based off of classic kung fu films. That was the point of Virtua Fighter, okay? That's why the sound effects sound the way they do. That's why the martial arts is the way that it is depicted in the game. Okay? Face animations for this game. Sound effects and character movements. Bro, I literally was just playing Tekken 7 in September 24th because I was out in Phoenix and I was at the grid. I was doing a show out there, you know, for music, but on my off time when I wasn't, you know, DJing and shit, I was playing Tekken. 'Cause that's the only 3D fighter they had there. Okay. Or I could be playing Third Strike on a whack ass arcade stick, which felt uncomfortable and wasn't fun. So, oh yeah, and I couldn't do my circle motions for some odd reason. I could do it here on my arcade stick, but when I try it out there, it's not responding to me. Everything else works except for circle motions. DP all day, can't circle, can't quarter circle. Like, that is bullshit. But Tekken, really? You're talking about the face animations in Tekken 7 weren't all that great. Apparently, this guy said it has shitty customizations. Oh, now, you know what? Once again, I could go deep into that shit. I could talk about the customization for hours. There's so much shit you can do with the customization. It's not even fucking funny. Yeah, but no one wants to talk about that. I'm reading this comment right here where he was talking about how Arata, the creator of Tekken, loved Virtua Fighter and created Tekken as a clone, which that's what it was. Yeah, he said it perfectly. If you're a martial arts fan, you're more than likely a Virtua Fighter fan. If you're a martial arts fan that plays fighting games. Okay, I watch a bunch of old kung fu films. You know, I actually practice martial arts on my off time. I mean, not hand in hand, mainly, like YouTube, but I see the
the
influence.
You can't lie about this. You shouldn't BS Virtua Fighter. The game itself is amazing. But the problem the developers are always doing is that they're wrapping this ribeye steak, this prime ribeye steak or filet mignon, they're wrapping it in turd paper.
Okay. Surface level shit. Character designs,
right?
animations.
Like, well, I'm not gonna try that. It's wrapped in a huge fucking turd. So it's so unfortunate. No one gets to see this amazing steak, right? Virtua Fighter.
Yes.
This is literally what is happening to Virtua Fighter. They keep re-releasing with shitty graphics, characters with shitty customizations and designs, garbage sound effects, animations they haven't updated since 1987, since Back to the Future, and Michael J. Fox was a huge name.
This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I wonder they have an evolution. Let's look at this. See if they actually have. They did it with Tekken. Well, okay. Well, I have to go through, and it looks like I'm going to have to go through all of this. damn. They had an evolution where they show, like, you know, from Tekken 1 to Tekken 7 how Kazuya's combo system worked. But they don't do that for Virtua Fighter because no one gives a fuck about Virtua Fighter. I could sit here. Hell, I could have personally showed you the move list and how to actually play this fucking game. Yeah, Virtua Fighter 4. So this is Virtua Fighter 2. All right, not only did the animations change, but the move list changed. And even then, it still was good back then. Like, they mocapped from real martial artists to get this shit. And over time, things change. And you're saying that, you know, shitty customization. His Black Book combos. It was from Mike, I believe. And this came out during a time where I couldn't even, like, if I could plug in my shit to the what's name, to the computer, which I don't have the equipment for, I'll show you. Like, see this? That's a customization. White scarf, silver hair, and the samurai. I forgot exactly. It's not a tanuki. That's the name of an animal in Japan. I forgot the top knot. I can't pronounce it. All right, it's a certain hairstyle. Okay, you can have a giant shuriken on your back. You know, have lights on your wrist and feet. Like, you can do all kind of shit with the customization. You can even change your skin color and shit. And by the way, this move doesn't exist in Virtua Fighter 4. This combo specifically. Like, to say that they haven't been updating animations or changing things. Like, I actually didn't even play Virtua Fighter 5 because they changed all of Kage's moveset. And I was trying to compete, but the buttons, I was fighting my muscle memory. That's essentially what was happening. So once I, like, grind out more Virtua Fighter, like I do in Melee, then I'll be able to come back and compete again. But, you know, this is the base game, like version B of Virtua Fighter 5. Essentially the base. This is what came out on the 360. And he has the I say the dummy set to counter hit so that he can perform these combos. So yeah, which move? This move right here. Wait, they say 219? Yeah, that move. Okay, so this move is hard to pull off. Because that is all on hit cancels. Like, you look at the timing. You better not have any fucking lag on your, you know, your monitor or your TV when doing that shit. I had a slight delay, so I could never really land that combo when doing this shit as a 16-year-old. Still got by with winning matches, but that one move pissed me off. But it's whatever, man. I could sit here, like I said, all day, all night. Fuck, I got work tomorrow. I don't even want to go to work tomorrow. I really don't, just being honest here. It's 5. I'm gonna end the video. Just SEGA, give us Virtua Fighter 6, please. Okay, like, I would rather wait for a new Virtua Fighter than waste my time playing Tekken.